no bloodshed.
Rotten louses, I'll flat all guy. Go on.
Welcome back to another episode from the Medium Cool Show. Join us as we travel back to the year 1977. Today, we're going to be talking about the Italian Eurocrime film, exploitation film, Beast with a Gun, aka The Mad Dog Killer, starring Helmut Berger and Marisa Mell. This film, right off the bat, boom, Prison Break. We're already going with this
Before
film.
before the opening credits.
But even before the opening credits, because these Italian films, what I love about them is every time I put them on, there's literally no titles. There's no production company. It's just boom, we're in it.
Yeah.
And this film does a great job of really bringing you in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I think that whole chase where they're dropping people off, killing people. Even you were saying you liked how they kind of held that you see the aftermath. Sergio Grieco wrote and directed this picture, and this was his last film he ever made before he died. Yeah. And I can kind of tell that he was an older director and kind of had a classical style because he held on things way, he had more patience with edits and holding on shots for a long time. And I think that kind of comes from his background of working in the 50s and more of a classical style.
Yeah, it was a interesting movie. That's for sure. Definitely exploitive. I don't know. Let's get into it. There's a lot to say about it.
Yeah, so I think typically this is a film that I would be into and watch it alone. I think this was definitely a different viewing experience for me because I kind of felt when we got into it, we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into.
Yeah.
Right? And I was kind of oh, this is rough.
Yeah.
This is getting kind of rough. I didn't know it was going to be this, you know what I mean? So I kind of was feeling a little bit of a secondhand uncomfortability with this film.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I would have this is a movie I would watch by myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or someone who could watch it with someone who's aware of what's happening beforehand type shit, you know?
Yeah. I just turned it on because we were looking for things to watch and we all kind of wanted something that was with some kills in it and stuff and cheesiness, and we didn't really know what we were getting into with this one, but it was something that we all hadn't seen. So that's
For sure.
why we turned it on.
For sure. It's a really gripping tale. Helmut Berger fucking plays a, psychopath.
Dude, straight up.
Straight psychopath. He plays it, he really goes, into the character. And definitely is, the standout performance and doesn't let go. Goes just... This movie, whenever something happens in this movie... You're oh, is it going to take it there? Oh, it's going to take it there.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep, it's going to keep going.
Yeah, it's going to keep going, dude.
You know?
It goes on for a long time.
Yeah,
and there's, some really uncomfortable scenes that just hang on for, so long.
Bro, this is a rough picture. This definitely is a film where it's, really kind of sits in with you.
Yeah.
And it also, makes you really feel for, what the character is going throughout the runtime of the movie. Marisa Mell.
Yeah.
Because... she gets kidnapped by Helmut Berger after they kill an informant that was dating her, and they capture her, totally violate her. They kill him in front of her and then take her away. And the investigation ensues by this cop who is really going ham apparently at trying to find these guys. The police, because he's a sadistic killer, sex offender, rapist.
Yeah. Nanni.
Really despicable, man.
Yeah.
And we have this kidnapped victim, and they're on the tail. It's kind of trying to do a cat and mouse type thing with the film. You have the cop. What's his role? He's trying to cheat.
He's the investigator, and he's in charge of trying to find this dude. And that's another thing that infuriates me about this movie is the cops are so fucking incompetent. I remember we started it, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a cat and mouse kind of thing.
Yeah.
I hope the cops are competent in this. And they're, so lame. By the end, I'm I don't even, I want Helmut Berger's character to die or, get stopped. I couldn't care who it's by. you know?
For sure.
Like, I'm like, dude, the cops kind of suck in this one.
Yeah, and I think this movie, it's purposely being frustrating. Like, it hurts because it's, like, supposed to hurt in a way. Like, you're kind of like, ugh. And, like, by the end of it, like, it's the most sadistic motherfucker ever who should die. You know, we all think that he should die. However, the cop has principles, and he definitely beats him up. And he's like, I could kill you right now, but you know what? You're getting arrested. And he doesn't get killed. He gets sent back to prison, which also this movie was supposed to have they wrote a sequel. They're supposed to have a sequel where he breaks out again, but they didn't do it. But this guy, the Helmut Berger's character, is based on a real criminal in Milan.
Really?
Yeah, his name was like Ronaldo or like Ronaldo. I forgot his name, but I was reading about him, and he's like a really famed criminal in Italy and shit. And I think he's still in prison to this day.
Damn.
Yeah, they're trying to like that's the whole thing about it. He's kind of like a Batman character where the Joker deserves to die, but he has principles.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the frustration with this movie. And I think it's on purpose. They push it so far, and then they take away that satisfaction of the revenge, like that catharsis that you wanted. You don't really get that with this film.
Yeah.
Right? After all of that, like, you've been through with a character. And even, like, when he starts cutting, like, the sister, too, I was like, oh, God, like, cut away.
Yeah.
You know, it's rough, and like I also want to talk about Marisa Mell because I'm a big fan of Marisa Mell.
Yeah, she's great in this,
and she's a very like from what I think she's very sexy, and from what I've seen with her, she always plays a very like sexy temptress role. She's in Danger Diabolic, one of my favorite films of all time, and she's also in One on Top of the Another, aka Perversion Story, directed by Lucio Fulci, my favorite director, pretty much. So I was looking forward to seeing this, but in this one, damn, I think this is like her best performance yet.
Really?
She's just her best, like she really kind of sells it as like this traumatized, dramatic role. Like there's nothing really funny about it, about this film. You know, usually like with these Eurocrime, poliziotteschi Italian films, there's more like a pop to it.
Yeah.
And I think the pop they have in it is sort of the stylized approach to the film.
Yeah.
Where you have these like long telephoto lens, like shots of like people, and it just like goes on slow mo, you know,
reaction shots.
Yeah, that shot. I love the scene where they pull up to the stop, like
the cops are walking towards them.
Yeah, like they're being searched for, and the cops are walking towards them, and it's just like, bow.
Yeah, the fucking music kicks in all the time in this movie. Yeah,
and then they finally like shoot him and kill him, and I like the soundtrack a lot. And
it's good soundtrack. It is.
When we were watching it, when the credits were rolling on the beginning, I was like, oh fuck yeah, this is like something that I would like have to just watch anyway. And I was kind of like, oh, like fuck yeah, you know, I'm glad we're watching this because it is very cool and it's very like takes its time, and also we have to mention that this film is featured in Jackie Brown, directed by Quentin Tarantino. And
Quentin Tarantino is his name.
Sam Jackson walks in and he's like, is that Rutger Hauer? And they say, no, that's Helmut Berger. You know, fucking such a cool ass name.
Yeah.
Helmut Berger.
Yeah.
You know? I definitely need to check out more of his work because I've heard so much about it, and he's kind of like an icon in Italy, and there's like a whole museum in Rome like that's like dedicated to him and shit.
Damn.
He has this movie called The Damned, directed by Luchino Visconti.
Yeah. I want to fucking watch that.
Yeah, I want to watch that.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, I want to see that. But in terms of this film, The Mad Dog Killer, I personally like this film. It's more up my alley. You know, it's definitely a grueling, sleazy experience and doesn't hold back. Usually, like the ones that I watch, the Eurocrime films I watch, have more like a lighthearted style, and I thought that's what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not surprised of like what happened. I was like, oh fuck, we're getting into like, I fucking love exploitation films. What can I say? Have you guys seen any Eurocrime films? Let me know in the description if you've seen them, and maybe we can check some more out that are a little, you know.
The man loves them. Give him a break, all right?